If you know me by now, you would understand that at this point, I cannot stand the left. I'm pretty done with them, and I think that I've actually been done with them for about like 6 months, maybe even a year. Since I basically have started this whole entire YouTube channel and my BitChute channel, I've been pretty sick of them. Moving forward, though, I wanted to talk about something that I think, we don't really have anymore, and that would be rules. Of course, we have laws, and of course, we have, different rules like that we would have to follow by our states, by our country, and that kind of thing, but rules in general that we have in our community, our society, for people having, kind of like a social norm, how to behave and interact, that is going away. It's disappearing and it's crumbling. Now, the main reason why this is all going away and why we're not really having all these kind of rules that people are following so that everybody stays, happy or at least somewhat able to live a decent way. Now it's becoming quite unlivable, and I do want to actually, try to explain this and what I mean. I feel like I'm kind of talking in riddles right now, so let me kind of give you more details on what I'm trying to say. Basically, internet censorship, you have the culture war, all the issues with mainstream media, and all the lies and all the corruption. When you add that together and you mix it all up, it's not that good, and it's not bringing people, having a good life, a good quality life that they should. Modernly in our society, we need to be able to do that. Practically every single corner on the internet has banned Christians and conservatives, so try to think right there. Maybe something is up. You have YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and pretty much everything else under the sun that Silicon Valley has their hands in. It's controlled, and they want to get rid of all the competition that can compete against them because they're not good enough. They don't know how to do that. I mean, not that they're not good enough. That's a little bit too far, but in their mind, they think that they're not able to compete. So therefore, they're going to get rid of the competition the dirty way.
Flash. Big Brother has now arrived. Big Brother is already watching you now.
The Republicans, if they're in a certain group, there's discrimination and big discrimination. I see it absolutely on Twitter and Facebook, which I have also, and others I see. So something's happening with those groups of folks that are running Facebook and Google and Twitter. And I do think we have to get to the bottom of it.
Basically, they've deemed these individuals to be dangerous, is what Facebook is saying. People like right-wing conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, and then also some right-wing media personalities.
The left is on a jihad against conservative thought. This is the emerging, the greatest censorship of free speech worldwide in the history of man.
And you might ask why? Why would they try to do this to Christians and conservatives and not anybody else? Why would they only pick on those two? And that's because they're telling the truth. They're telling the truth on how things are and how power and corruption is, everything that's going on with all the monopolies and, people that shouldn't be teaming up, that are teaming up against the people and destroying our whole entire marketplace, especially with the internet. Now, I just want you to think about this for a second because it's actually really amusing. I mean, it's not supposed to be, but it really is when you start thinking about it. So, people don't understand and they start assuming that, okay, the Christians and the conservatives are making this up. But then you see them start deleting their bank accounts or deleting them off of social media. Literally, what was it, from Uber Eats or something? There's like an incident with Laura Loomer, but then again, there was like incidents of other people that were doing pranks on Uber drivers, and then now they can't use Uber anymore. But yeah, like a lot of other crazy stuff that is happening where basically it is, pretty much conservative activist types that are on the ground, journalists that are on the ground, that are independent, working on their own and doing their own thing. It's affecting a lot of people. We don't have all the jobs in the world that we need right now in the US to make it, function properly, especially in the modern day age that we live in with all the technology and everything that's going on. So having this with technology that is finally advanced enough to where we can work on it and we can do that in like a click of a button and be able to communicate and be able to work off of the internet and do that, literally work off of like something like this. It's crazy. So, I don't know why they try to destroy something that's that good. Now, on top of that, book censorship. That's quite an issue too, around the whole entire nation, and then no one's doing anything about that. For example, you have Barnes& Noble and Amazon. I mean, one of the two major areas that you can get a book, unless you're at like Pal Books over in Portland, which I highly recommend. If you're in Portland, you should definitely go check it out. It's really cool. I don't know if there's another Pal Books anywhere else in the country, but it's really sick. It's definitely my favorite bookstore to go to. But Barnes and Noble and Amazon, they are banning conservatives, of course, and they're also banning a lot of people that are talking about politics that they don't agree with, whether that's not even conservatism, it's, a lot of libertarians too, and people that are just kind of like normal liberals that do disagree with far left liberals and all that huge mess and nonsense that they have to deal with too. So yeah, they let Antifa though sell their books in the store, sell their books online. Amazon lets Antifa sell their books, and Antifa goes out and literally tries to basically kill people. They killed one person. They did that issue with the bike lock and bashing that in someone's head. That's horrible. I mean, everything they throw, urine, disgusting stuff, they are not saying at all. They're not playing with a full deck of cards, obviously. But they can sell books wherever they want in our country. Don't forget back in the beginning of May, where we literally had the FBI investigating Antifa whether or not they were trying to stage an armed rebellion. Antifa literally met with the cartel. Like, I'm not even joking. I can't make this up. If you don't know, it happened back in May. They were meeting with the cartel and they purchased a legal gun so that they can try to use that for, God knows what actually. So I'm really lucky that they ended up getting caught and that the FBI was able to investigate that. This is why I mentioned Antifa able to have books in Barnes and Noble in the store, online, on Amazon, all kinds of other bookstores, depending or not if that's going to be in a blue city or if it's going to be red. So yeah, you can kind of, see where that's going. Pretty much their books are everywhere, and it doesn't make any sense if they're going to be banning books on Amazon from dating advice books or, stuff on Barnes and Noble if that's going to be something that says like, too many bad words in a comedy book or anything like that. We live in America, we have freedoms, we're able to say what we want by the First Amendment as long as everything is legal, and I don't feel like other people should be able to control what other people say or how we, gain information from the public. As of right now, to be completely honest, I really do feel like I'm living in a clown world. I know this was mentioned hundreds of times, but you can't really picture it in a different way. When you're trying to describe it, it really is kind of like a clown world where everybody's like, haha, and like they don't know what's going on. And you're like, hey, and like you're kind of wait. Well, actually, no, I kind of think of it a little bit differently. I think a lot of people, they do, picture it like the clown world, like I'm saying right now. But I think something that is like a better description would be gray globs. Everybody is gray globs, and I feel like I am just trying to, stay in the light, stay in the color, not be so gray, if you know what I mean. I think that gray is like how everybody is talking the same. People are on their phones constantly, literally looking at their phones everywhere. Like, you'll look around in a place and actually, like, do this sometime. Look around, like, when you're around a lot of people, everybody's on their phone. They really are. Like, I mean, way on their phone, though. Like, it's not like a little break. Like, people are on there, like, constantly glued. Like, they're not even in the real world anymore. And that's scary enough. And when everybody's glued to their phone, what happens? Well, fiction of reality becomes a drug. For example, the majority of people in our society, they're on Instagram. They're seeing the picture perfect life, or at least what they think that is. And it's far from even what the American dream would be totally described as. Something that is glamorous, something that is luxury, and something that is over the top. That is what people, I think, are craving right now. I'm not entirely sure, but it's, happening. And I think that itself is having a very negative impact with our society and the way that people are thinking, the way that they're living their personal lives and how they're interacting with their friends, their family, building relationships. This is where I actually started coming to a conclusion. When I started realizing all this and I put it all together, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, there are no rules in life. And I'm serious, I really am. There's laws, there's causes, there's effects, and you have to have morals and, standards. But with rules, generally, rules are made up by people that are in power, that are trying to control other people so that they can, make everything work out in their favor. And even Benjamin Franklin said it is the first responsibility of the citizens to question authority. So when you have things like everything that I just listed with Antifa, with people getting away with doing horrible things to conservatives and Christians in a free society where literally we have, well, we're supposed to have our amendments protect us, like the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, so on and so on. And the Fourth Amendment, privacy, of course, that's being invaded as well with Facebook and your data being sold, your private information being sold. The Constitution is not completely being followed. I don't think it is. I think that people are getting away with breaking the law because they have money, they have power, they have connections with corporations and maybe even some politicians. If you never question any authority, how are you supposed to find the truth? Are you just going to listen to everybody else that's telling you what to do? And if they say something, if they say, technically go jump off a bridge, are you going to do that? No. And that's kind of why I like mentioning that phrase. Obviously, everybody knows of that if you are, a person and you're not like an alien. So, yeah, everybody knows that phrase. And I think it does go a long way because are you going to listen to somebody because they tell you to do something that you know isn't right in your heart? You know that it's going to do something damaging to you. No, that would be logically really dumb, right? Because why are you going to do something like that to yourself? I mean, that would be not a good move. So then you think about that with politics and you think about it with the people that are running major corporations such as Facebook, Google, all the other social media companies like Twitter and whatnot that I'm mentioning. And it's not hard to believe. What do you think that they're the perfect people and everything that they say is just, oh, yeah, okay, we'll do whatever? No, there's people that were banned off of Twitter for having specific diets that they want to do that actually improved their life. It was something to do with like a carnivore diet, and then there's like another diet too. And what? Okay, they know diets now too. How far does it go? It could go literally to what you eat on your plate, apparently. This is why I'd like to question the truth because you always find like hidden answers. I mean, not all the time, but sometimes you do, and then you really discover what's going on. I've heard others say, you know what, you just can't do whatever you want in life. But I would say, why? Why can't you? As long as everything is legal and you're following the law, there are laws, but what rules are necessarily in your way to stop you from doing what you want to do? We live in a different time period where no one is following the rules, and you could blame the left. You could even thank them for it if you want to, because now we're stuck with it. Now we're stuck with nobody following the rules, bringing us back to literally the Wild West. On that note, I'm going to head out, but I'm going to have another video coming very shortly. There's a lot of other videos on my channel if you want to go check them out, so I'll check you next time.